What if, at this very moment, your future self could reach back through time and speak directly to you? What if the person you are destined to become, the wiser, stronger, more successful version of yourself, had a message so important that it could change the course of your life forever? Today, imagine receiving that message. Your future self has already walked through the storms you are facing right now. They have seen the obstacles that seem impossible, survived the heartbreaks that feel unbearable, and overcome the fears that try to hold you back. They know how your story unfolds, and if they could tell you one thing, it would be this: do not underestimate the significance of the moment you are living in today. The decisions you make now, the habits you build, the people you listen to, and even the challenges you endure are shaping a future that is greater than you can currently imagine. What feels like a delay may actually be preparation. What looks like a setback may be positioning you for a breakthrough, and what seems ordinary today may become the turning point you look back on years from now. There are moments in life that appear small while they are happening, yet later become the very foundation of everything that follows. This may be one of those moments, so pay attention, listen closely. Your future self is trying to remind you that you are closer to your breakthrough than you think, stronger than you realize, and more capable than you have ever believed. The future is calling, and this message is for you. This moment is more important than you realize. Your future self wants you to understand something that is easy to overlook. The moment you are living in right now carries far more significance than you can see. Most people spend their lives waiting for a dramatic sign, a major breakthrough, or a life-changing event before they begin taking their choices seriously. Yet the truth is that destiny is usually built in ordinary moments, not extraordinary ones. The future version of you knows this because they have already seen how your story unfolds. They know which decision opened the right door, which act of courage changed everything, and which moment of persistence became the foundation of future success. Looking back, they can clearly see connections that are invisible to you today. Perhaps you feel as though your efforts are going unnoticed. Maybe you think your daily routines, prayers, sacrifices, and struggles do not matter. But your future self would tell you that every action counts. Every choice is like a seed planted into the soil of tomorrow. Some seeds grow quickly, while others take time. Yet all of them contribute to the harvest that eventually appears. There may be opportunities around you that seem small and insignificant. There may be conversations that appear ordinary. There may be lessons hidden inside, challenges you wish would disappear. But these moments often become turning points later. The things you dismiss today may become the very reasons you succeed tomorrow. Your future self would urge you not to sleepwalk through this season. Pay attention, listen carefully, be intentional about your choices. The habits you develop now will determine where you stand years from today. The courage you show now will influence opportunities you haven't even encountered yet. One day, you'll look back and realize that this wasn't just another day. It was a crossroads. It was a defining chapter. It was the moment everything quietly began to change. That's why your future self is sending this message. Treasure today, because it matters more than you realize. Stop doubting the progress you cannot yet see. If your future self could sit down with you today, one of the first things they would say is this: stop doubting the progress you cannot yet see. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that if they cannot see immediate results, then nothing is happening. But growth does not always happen where the eye can observe it. Often, the most important transformations occur beneath the surface. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For a long time there appears to be no movement. The soil looks unchanged. There are no visible signs of life. Yet underneath, roots are developing. Strength is being built. A foundation is forming. Without that hidden process, the plant could never survive once it breaks through the surface. Your life is no different. There have been seasons when you prayed, worked hard, stayed faithful, and did everything you knew to do, yet it seemed as though nothing was changing. Those are the moments when discouragement whispers that your efforts are being wasted. But your future self knows something you don't know yet. Every challenge, every lesson, and every act of perseverance has been producing growth that will eventually become visible. The confidence you are gaining through hardship is preparing you for future opportunities. The patience you are learning through delays is strengthening your character. The wisdom you are acquiring through mistakes is equipping you for responsibilities that are still ahead. None of it is wasted. Many people quit because they judge their journey by what they can see today. They abandon their dreams because the results haven't appeared fast enough. Your future self wants you to avoid that trap. They know that some of your greatest breakthroughs were born during seasons when it seemed like nothing was happening. Keep going, keep believing, keep showing up every day. Progress is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent. Sometimes it happens in hidden places. Sometimes it takes longer than expected. One day, you will look back and realize that while you were worrying about whether you were growing, life was quietly preparing you for blessings, opportunities, and victories far greater than you imagined. Your progress is real, even when you cannot yet see it. The pain you are experiencing has a purpose. If your future self could send you a message today, they would want you to understand something that may be difficult to accept right now. The pain you are experiencing has a purpose. It may not make sense in this moment. You may wish you could skip this chapter entirely. But one day, when you look back, you will see that some of your greatest strengths were born from the very struggles you once prayed to escape. Pain has a way of changing people. It reveals what is truly inside them. It teaches lessons that comfort never could. While nobody enjoys hardship, challenges often become the training ground for future victories. The future version of you knows this because they have already seen how these difficult moments shape the person you eventually became. Perhaps you have experienced disappointment, rejection, betrayal, loss, or delay. Maybe you have spent nights wondering why certain things happened the way they did. It is natural to ask questions during seasons of suffering, yet your future self would tell you that not every painful experience was sent to destroy you. Some were allowed to develop qualities that you could not have gained any other way. The pain taught you patience when everything in you wanted immediate answers. It taught you resilience when circumstances tried to break your spirit. It taught you wisdom through mistakes and compassion through understanding the struggles of others. Every challenge added another layer of strength to your character. What feels like a burden today may eventually become part of your testimony. The wounds you carry may one day help someone else find healing. The lessons you learn through hardship may guide others through their own storms. Nothing you endure is wasted when it is used to shape a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. Your future self wants you to keep moving forward. Do not allow pain to convince you that your story is over. This chapter is not the end. It is preparation. It is growth. It is transformation. One day, you will look back and realize that the struggles you feared were actually building the strength you needed to step into your next season. The pain had a purpose, and it helped create the person you were destined to become. Do not walk away before the breakthrough. If your future self could speak directly to you today, they would urge you with great passion, do not walk away before the breakthrough. Many people never experience the blessings, opportunities, and victories that were meant for them, not because they lacked talent, intelligence, or potential, but because they gave up too soon. They stopped one step before the door opened. They quit during the final stretch of the journey. Right now, you may feel exhausted. You may be tired of waiting, tired of hoping, and tired of putting in effort without seeing the results you expected. There may be days when it seems easier to abandon the dream than to continue pursuing it. Your future self understands those feelings because they once stood exactly where you are standing now. What you cannot see is that some of the greatest changes in life happen suddenly after long periods of seeming inactivity. For months or even years, nothing appears to move. Then, in a single moment, everything changes. An opportunity arrives. A connection is made. A door opens. A prayer is answered. The breakthrough that seemed impossible suddenly becomes reality. The danger is that discouragement often grows strongest just before a major turning point. Challenges become more intense. Doubts become louder. fear begins whispering that your efforts are pointless. This is why so many people quit. They mistake resistance for failure when it is often a sign that they are closer than they realize. Your future self wants you to remember that persistence has power. Every step forward matters, even when progress feels slow. Every day you choose faith over fear, determination over doubt, and perseverance over surrender. You are moving closer to the life you desire. The successful version of you exists because you refuse to stop. They are looking back now with gratitude, thankful that you endured the difficult days and kept going when quitting seemed tempting. So hold on a little longer. Stay faithful to your purpose. Continue taking the next step, even when the path is unclear. One day, you will realize that your breakthrough was not as far away as it seemed. The moment you wanted to give up may have been the very moment everything was about to change. The person you are becoming matters more than what you are receiving. If your future self could send you one powerful reminder, it would be this: the person you are becoming matters more than what you are receiving. Most people focus entirely on the rewards. They want more money, greater success, recognition, relationships, opportunities, or achievements. While those things can be valuable, they are not the most important part of the journey. The greatest treasure is the transformation taking place within you. Your future self knows something that is difficult to understand during seasons of waiting. The blessings you seek may eventually arrive, but the character you develop while pursuing them will remain with you forever. Success can come and go, opportunities can appear and disappear, but the wisdom, strength, discipline, and faith you build along the way become permanent parts of who you are. Think about the challenges you have already faced. Some situations forced you to become stronger than you ever thought possible. Others taught you patience when everything inside you wanted immediate results. Some experiences taught you humility, while others revealed courage you didn't know you possessed. Every obstacle has been shaping you into a better version of yourself. Your future self would tell you that many of the struggles you questioned were actually opportunities for growth. The delays taught you endurance. The disappointments taught you resilience. The failures taught you valuable lessons that later protected you from making bigger mistakes. What seemed unfair at the time was often preparing you for greater responsibilities. Imagine receiving everything you desired without first developing the character necessary to handle it. Many people achieve success before they are ready and end up losing what they worked so hard to gain. That is why growth is so important. The process is not simply about getting what you want. It is about becoming the kind of person who can wisely manage and sustain those blessings. Your future self is grateful, not only for the opportunities that came their way, but also for the person they became through the journey. They know that true success is not measured only by what you possess, but by who you are. So do not become discouraged if the rewards seem slow in coming. Focus on your growth. Focus on your character. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. One day, you will realize that the greatest gift was not what you received. It was who you became along the way. Trust the delays that frustrate you. If your future self could send a message back through time, one of the most important things they would tell you is this: trust the delays that frustrate you. Right now, there may be areas of your life where you feel stuck. You've prayed, worked, waited, and hoped, yet the breakthrough you expected has not arrived. The delay may feel confusing, unfair, or even discouraging. But your future self wants you to know that not every delay is a denial. Sometimes a delay is protection. Sometimes it is preparation. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to trust timing. We naturally want things to happen according to our schedule. We want immediate answers, quick results, and instant progress. But life often operates differently. There are seasons when growth must occur before opportunities arrive. There are lessons that must be learned before certain doors can safely open. Looking back, your future self can clearly see what you cannot see right now. They understand that some opportunities arrived later because they needed the right circumstances. Some relationships appeared when both people were ready. Some successes required skills, wisdom, and maturity that had not yet been fully developed. What felt like a frustrating delay was actually a period of preparation. Imagine receiving a blessing before you had the ability to manage it. Imagine stepping into a responsibility before you were emotionally, mentally, or spiritually ready. What seems like an answer today could become a burden tomorrow if the timing is wrong. This is why some delays are necessary. They are not meant to harm you, but to help you. Your future self would encourage you to stop measuring your progress by speed alone. Growth is not always fast. Some of the most valuable things in life take time to develop. Character takes time. Wisdom takes time. Lasting success takes time. So do not allow delays to fill your heart with doubt. Continue moving forward. Continue preparing. Continue believing. One day, you will look back and realize that what felt like an unwanted pause was actually a gift. The delay protected you, prepared you, and positioned you for something far greater than you could see at the time. Trust the process, because your future self is grateful that you did. Pay attention to the opportunities around you. If your future self could sit across from you today and offer one piece of advice, they might say, pay attention to the opportunities around you. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is believing that life-changing opportunities always arrive in dramatic and obvious ways. In reality, many of the greatest opportunities enter our lives quietly, disguised as ordinary moments, unexpected conversations, or small decisions that seem insignificant at the time. Your future self knows this because they can look back and see exactly where things began to change. They remember the conversation they almost ignored, the chance they almost passed up, the person they almost didn't meet, and the step they almost didn't take. Looking back, those moments seem obvious, but while they were happening, they appeared ordinary. Right now, there may be opportunities surrounding you that you haven't fully recognized. Sometimes opportunities come disguised as challenges. Sometimes they appear in the form of learning a new skill, meeting a new person, or stepping outside your comfort zone. Other times they arrive as a burden that eventually becomes a blessing. The problem is that many people are so focused on what they don't have that they fail to notice what has already been placed in front of them. They spend so much time waiting for a miracle that they overlook the doors that are already beginning to open. Your future self wants you to avoid this mistake. Be present, stay aware, listen carefully to the guidance life is offering you. Pay attention to recurring ideas, unexpected invitations, and opportunities for growth. What seems small today may become the foundation of something extraordinary tomorrow. Not every opportunity will be perfect. Some will require courage. Some will involve risk. Some will demand faith before results are visible. Yet, many breakthroughs begin with a simple decision to say yes when fear says no. Your future self is grateful because you chose to remain open instead of closed, curious instead of fearful, and willing instead of hesitant. They know that many of the blessings you now enjoy began as opportunities that seemed insignificant at first. So keep your eyes open. The next chapter of your life may not arrive with a loud announcement. It may already be standing quietly at your door, waiting for you to recognize it. Release what no longer belongs in your future. If your future self could send you a message today, it would be this: release what no longer belongs in your future. One of the most difficult parts of growth is learning that not everything that was meant for one season of your life is meant for the next. As you evolve, your priorities change, your perspective expands, and your purpose becomes clearer. To move forward, you must be willing to let go of anything that is holding you back. Many people struggle with this because letting go is uncomfortable. We become attached to familiar relationships, habits, routines, and ways of thinking. Even when something is no longer healthy or beneficial, we may hold on to it simply because it feels safe. But your future self wants you to understand that growth often requires release. There may be relationships that constantly drain your energy rather than inspire your growth. There may be habits that once provided comfort, but now prevent you from becoming the person you are meant to be. There may be fears, regrets, or old wounds that continue to influence your decisions long after they should have lost their power. Your future self has already experienced the freedom that comes from letting go. Looking back, they realize that some things they desperately tried to keep were actually standing in the way of something better. What felt like a loss at the time became a necessary step toward greater peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Holding on to the past can make it difficult to embrace the future. When your hands are full of things that no longer serve you, it becomes impossible to fully receive new opportunities. Sometimes life asks you to trust enough to release what is familiar so you can make room for what is next. This does not mean forgetting your experiences or denying your journey. It means learning from the past without allowing it to control your future. It means carrying the wisdom while releasing the weight. Your future self is grateful that you eventually found the courage to let go. They know that some of the greatest blessings in your life became possible only after you released what no longer belonged. So examine your life honestly. Ask yourself what you are carrying that should have been left behind. The next chapter is waiting for you, but you may need to loosen your grip on the old before you can fully embrace the new. Your greatest victory is closer than you think. If your future self could send one message to encourage you today, it would be this: your greatest victory is closer than you think. Right now, you may feel as though you are far away from the breakthrough you have been hoping for. The journey has been long, the obstacles have been exhausting. There have been moments when you wondered if your efforts were making any difference at all. But your future self wants you to know that appearances can be deceiving. One of the most challenging aspects of life is that progress is not always visible. Often, the biggest changes are taking place behind the scenes long before they become obvious. A person can spend years preparing for a moment that seems to arrive overnight. What others call luck is often the result of persistence that nobody saw. Your future self knows exactly how close you came to giving up. They remember the days when doubt seemed stronger than faith. They remember the nights when frustration tempted you to walk away from your dreams. Yet they are thankful that you continued moving forward, even when you couldn't see the finish line. Many people abandon their goals because they underestimate how close they are to success. They stop digging just before discovering treasure. They quit running just before reaching the finish line. They allow temporary discouragement to rob them of permanent rewards. Your future self wants to protect you from making that mistake. The challenges you are facing today are not proof that you are failing. In many cases, they are signs that you are growing stronger. Every obstacle you overcome is preparing you for the victory that lies ahead. Every lesson you learn is adding another piece to the foundation of your future success. Do not measure your progress solely by what you see today. Some victories require patience. Some breakthroughs require perseverance. Some dreams take longer to unfold because they are bigger than you initially imagined. Your future self is living proof that the struggle was worth it. They know that the breakthrough arrived, the door opened, and the victory came. That's why they want you to keep believing. Hold on, stay faithful, continue taking the next step. The moment you have been waiting for may be much closer than you think. The future version of you is proud of you. If your future self could speak to you right now, perhaps the most emotional thing they would say is this: I am proud of you. Not because you were perfect, not because you never made mistakes, not because everything went according to plan. They are proud of you because you kept going when life gave you every reason to quit. Right now, you may spend a lot of time focusing on what you haven't accomplished yet. You may think about your failures, your missed opportunities, your regrets, and the goals you still haven't reached. It's easy to be your own harshest critic. It's easy to overlook how far you've come because you're so focused on how far you still want to go. But your future self sees the complete picture. They remember every battle you fought in silence. They remember the tears nobody saw, the disappointments you carried, and the moments when your heart felt heavy. They remember the days when you doubted yourself but chose to keep moving anyway. They remember how many times you got back up after being knocked down. What makes them proud isn't just the victories you achieved. It's the courage you displayed during the difficult seasons. It's the strength you showed when circumstances were against you. It's the faith you held on to when the future seemed uncertain. It's the determination that kept you taking one more step, even when you were exhausted. Your future self wants you to understand that success is not measured only by outcomes. Success is also measured by perseverance. Every time you refused to surrender, you were becoming stronger. Every challenge you faced was shaping your character. Every obstacle you overcame was preparing you for greater things ahead. There were moments when you thought you were falling apart, but in reality, you were being rebuilt. There were seasons when you believed you were failing, but you were actually learning lessons that would later become invaluable. There were times when you felt weak, but those experiences were developing a resilience that would carry you through future victories. Looking back now, your future self sees someone remarkable, someone who continued despite fear, someone who chose hope over despair, someone who kept believing when evidence was scarce, someone who refused to let temporary setbacks define a permanent future. So take a moment today and give yourself some grace. Acknowledge the progress you've made. Recognize the strength you've developed. Celebrate the fact that you're still here, still growing, and still moving forward. Your future self is living proof that your efforts were not wasted. They are grateful that you didn't quit. They are thankful that you kept believing. And if they could leave you with one final message, it would be this: keep going. The life you're dreaming about is real. The person you're becoming is extraordinary. And one day, you'll be just as proud of yourself as I am of you now. As we come to the end of this message, remember that this was never just about the future. It was about the choices you make today. Your future self reached back through these words for a reason. They wanted to remind you that you are stronger than your doubts, more capable than your fears, and closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Life may not look exactly the way you hoped it would right now. There may still be unanswered questions, unfinished goals, and challenges standing in your path. But do not let temporary circumstances convince you that your story is finished. The most beautiful chapters are often written after the hardest battles. Your future self knows every obstacle you will overcome, every lesson you will learn, and every victory that is waiting ahead. They know that the pain you're carrying will not last forever. They know that the delays will eventually make sense. They know that the dreams you've almost given up on still have the power to become reality. So from this moment forward, choose to walk with confidence. Trust the process even when you cannot see the outcome. Believe in your growth even when progress feels invisible. Stay committed to your purpose even when the road gets difficult. One day, you'll look back on this season and realize it was not the chapter that broke you, it was the chapter that built you. It was the moment you stopped listening to fear and started believing in the person you were becoming. Take a deep breath and remember, your future is not waiting for you somewhere far away. It is being created by the decisions you make right now. The future version of you is cheering you on. They're grateful you didn't quit. They're proud of how far you've come. And they're waiting to welcome you into a life that is greater, brighter, and more fulfilling than you can currently imagine. Pay attention to this moment. It may be the beginning of everything you've been praying for.